Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being on this call. This is the How to Lead call every Tuesday morning. And I really so enjoy this call, and I hope you do too. And please do invite, guests to come on this call or other consultants in your team. Don't be shy. Let people know about it. And most of them I do put to Facebook and sometimes to Twitter as well. So I do post them. You can always check there. My Twitter is EarthStar333, and my Facebook is either, my personal one is Julie Tara. My business for Nikken is Quantum Leap International. So sometimes I'll put them to the personal. Most of the time I'll put them to Quantum Leap directly. So, feel free to go there and use them. Also, you can go to YouTube. And I have a channel there, Julie Tara channel, and in that channel, there's a whole section of Nikken YouTubes, and there must be about 260, I think, at this point. So there's lots on there. So you can always go there to find anything you want. You want to look up Brigistrol, Siaga, whatever, what happens with these things, then, go there and find out. So, but I also put these How to Lead calls onto my YouTube channel. And last week's one I haven't done yet, but I will. And I thought I might continue with some of that information that was from coming back from the High Performance Academy with Brendon Burchard, who's the #1 personal growth trainer right now in the States. He is phenomenal. I really suggest that if you want to learn how to really lead your life and be a leader in Nikken, study his material. He is brilliant. He's very engaging. He's funny and joyful. And his message is bring the joy and honor the struggle and bring the joy to the struggle. And that was the biggest thing I got out of his work. And of course, studying him, I started also studying some of Jim Rohn's work again. I was listening to him late last night. He is fantastic. And I put a couple of those things on Facebook. So please be engaged on social media so that you find these things from all of us that we're sharing. We don't share things that we think are not helpful or important. We do share things we think are super important. And Jim Rohn said, last night, some wonderful things about how there is really a battle going on, always within the mind. Always physical battle, emotional battles, mental battle between the light and the dark, really, between good and evil. And it's always going on. And we have to be very mindful of the battle. And I've talked about this myself in Nikken lectures and things, but I never heard somebody really express it in the way that he did. And so I was really intrigued. I was like, wow, this is always how I've experienced it. And here's somebody really speaking about it powerfully and with great aplomb. Jim Rohn is got a tremendous amount of confidence and focus, and he's just a wonderful communicator. So listen to some of his work and learn, because we can never stop learning, right? I'm looking, there's that big old sun coming behind me. So beautiful. And so, listen and learn from him along with Brendon Burchard. So I wanted to say to you, because we'll go through some of the slides, but these slides pretty well by now. Most of you are on consistently. And so it's hard to do the same thing over and over again all the time. Obviously, it's not very interesting for you, and it's not very interesting for me either, because I'm always learning and wanting to share the things I've learned. But I wanted to go through a few of the little things that Brendon Burchard talked about with this High Performance Academy again today. One is, what is high performance? This is how he defines it. High performance is succeeding beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. Succeeding beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. High performance living is an ongoing feeling of full engagement, joy, and confidence that comes from consistently living as your best self. I'm going to say it again. High performance living is an ongoing feeling of full engagement, joy, and confidence that comes from consistently living as your best self. Now that's interesting because this morning I was listening to some of Jim Rohn, right? So that, Brendan Burchard learned from Jim Rohn along with, many others, especially I think one of his big mentors is Tony Robbins. But Jim said this morning on his video on one of the ones I was watching, learn to put everything you've got into everything you do. Learn to put everything you've got into everything you do. This is what allows us to have full presence, right? Full presence. So right here, right now, I'm speaking with you, and you're listening with me. And so we want to give full attention, full presence to that. Not doing other things at the same time, not multitasking. That makes us very inefficient, and we lose our power that way. And in Nikken, to become a leader, we're talking really about becoming fully empowered as a human being and learning how to really help others in this world be a big influence. Leadership is all about influence and really being effective with that influence. And obviously creating a huge team of people that are as passionate about health and wealth and goodness and a thriving world as you are. So that's what we're doing. Now that takes bringing all of us to the game. We can't just kind of do, a mediocre, give ourselves 10% to the world and to our work and to Nikken. It will never happen that way. And that's why I love it when you focus on helping people go senior, which of course now we've got this fantastic bonus program going on with going senior. We've got it through now October and November. We had it in September too. And then helping people go executive and then silver, because that takes real focus. And it is the focus and the teamwork together that really makes our business happen, makes it sing. Where you're doing, maybe you've got someone going silver and you're helping them every single day with 3-way calls. And if you're local, close to them, then you're doing meetings with them. And you're really, focusing on who do you know and who do they know? Who do you know and who do they know? Because that's always our expansion of the Nikken vision. I was watching some Eric Worre yesterday, and he's got a new video selection out called What Does It Take to Be a Network Marketing Superstar? And we know that recruiting, of course, is critical with that. And he talked about the first 4 things that were critical were vision, belief, simplicity, and positivity. Those 4 things: vision, belief, simplicity, and positivity. And so those are really important things to develop, right? Our vision is critical. Your vision is critical. My vision is critical. What do I see? And so, and I'm always of the viewpoint that, I know, I don't just think it. I know that our world really, 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 really needs these technologies that we have, and really, really needs to understand a new way of creating wealth in the world through teamwork and win-win structure. And that's network marketing. So I know the world needs those 2 things. So that keeps me inspired no matter what happens, no matter who says no matter, what changes the company comes up with technologies or the compensation plan. Doesn't matter to me really very much, because my focus is on all the people that don't know and don't have what we have. Magnetic sleep system, Pybag water, our beautiful daytime technologies that keep us thriving, our amazing nutritionals and skincare. All these things, most people don't have. Hardly anybody. If our market penetration is, what is it? Gosh, it's so low. It's like 0.003% or something. It's so low. And we are enjoying all these technologies every single day. We all use these things and nobody else has it. That's a travesty. So my focus is always on who doesn't know about this yet. Who could I help know about this? And whether they're interested or not doesn't really sway me very much, because there's somebody else who's going to be. If they're not, maybe I didn't do the best job ever. I don't know. But if it didn't shift things for them and their understanding and their belief systems around epigenetics and how the environment affects our health dramatically, then, well, I didn't get through to them. It doesn't matter, because somebody else I'll get through to. So you always want to look at what is your deepest desire. Somebody asked me the other day, I had a meeting with this very, very wealthy man. And he, I showed him the insoles and everything. And then he said, well, do you have them in your shoes? And I was like, well, yes. And he was like, well, can I see them? He wanted to make sure I wasn't, telling a lie. I wasn't telling him to have something that I don't use. So I went up, got my shoes and showed him and said, I've been wearing these for at least 5 years and they're pretty much brand new. They look brand new and I wear them every day. So that was intriguing for him to really see that. And then he said, why do you do Nikken? And the first thing that popped out of my mouth is I said, I love God and I was asked to do this. This is my calling. I was asked to do this and I'm obedient to that request. This is my assignment, if you like, on the planet, and I'm all about it. And so that allows me to be very stable in my work, right? So my emotional resilience is very strong because I know what I know about my own divine purpose and mission. And I know that Nikken is a massive part of that, to bring health and well-being and wealth to our world and help people be free. Because ultimately, with the network marketing model, it's about freedom. It's about helping people be free, get away from the slavery of a job and actually be free to earn what they are worth in this world and have a beautiful life of autonomy and connection, both at the same time. So a couple of things I wanted to run through with Brendon Burchard, to go back to the High Performance Academy. He almost died at 19 and he had a big wake-up call, and that's often what we've had, a wake-up call of some kind or other, and that is very pivotal moment in your life. And the question he asked himself when he almost died and didn't was, did I live, did I love, and did I matter? And I really want you to think about those 3 questions because they're very, very powerful. Did I live, really live? Did I love, really, really love? And did I matter? Did I make a difference? Did I have an influence in this world? Did my life make a difference? Did I make a mark? My mark, right? These are important questions. So he talked a lot about personal freedom. The main motivation of humanity is personal freedom. Freedom of choosing the ideas that we want to have, to live the way we want to live, with whom we want to live, with whom we want to work, and Nikken gives us an unbelievable opportunity to have that freedom, to be as unequal, like to get out of all of the mess of sort of mediocrity and into the high-flying place of the eagles, the rarefied atmosphere of real freedom. And you have to see that for yourself and own it for yourself. You can't be able to give that to somebody else unless you unless you really take it on yourself. So maybe I can just do this a little bit. Sun's really powerful this morning. He talked about 3 kinds of life: the caged life, which is feeling trapped, having a high level of fear, like a zoo animal, frustration, scared and angry at the same time. And then this is the scary part. People get used to it. They get used to the caged life. And then they move into resignation. So the first level is the level of fear. The second level of it is resignation. And there's no attempt to change. The bars have become internal. And I know you've heard me talk about when I saw the tigers escape at the circus, when I was in the circus. And when the tigers escaped, it was one of the most beautiful things I ever saw, ever in my life. And it was so moving to me. And I think people the same. But when the bars, were released, the tigers did remember how to really, really run. And in this situation, if you become resigned, the bars are internal and you forget that you actually can run, that you actually can be free. And then the third stage of the caged life is bitterness, the last stage of being trapped, where people say, no one understands me, and they won't seek help. It's so sad. And they step out of life. And there's a certain narcissism that happens there, because there are 2 poles of narcissism. One is where you think you're better than everybody, and one is where you think you're worse than everybody, and this is kind of the dangerous place where it can lead to plans of suicide, which Brendon Burchard did think about suicide. I'm going to try and pull this blind down. Oh, actually, I put something up here that creates rainbows. maybe I'll do this. That's better. There we go. Now you're not so blinded by the light. So he says you get frustrated, scared, resigned, and bitter. Frustrated, scared, resigned, and bitter. And that's very sad. And he really demonstrated it with like an animal that, like, when you see the chimpanzees and they were once really powerful, or the orangutans or even the gorillas, and then in the end they're in the corner and they're scowling and they're throwing things at you, and they're just bitter. They're resigned and bitter. So that's the cage life, and that happens to human beings. And you can all think of people that that's happened to, and the big thing is, you don't understand me. You don't understand what I've been through, right? And that's just devastating, cutting yourself off, isolation. Now, the second life he talked about was the comfortable life. And many of you may have experienced that. I certainly have. I've experienced the cage life. Luckily, not to the point of that resignation and bitterness, but certainly the first place of feeling trapped, and then mood shifted. And then the comfortable life is where things are very controlled. Things have got their way about them. You're content. Everything's kind of perfect, so getting by, all good. But then you get restless. Something's missing. It's good, but there's something more. And I can't put my finger on it, but there's something more that I want out of life. So that it's fine drives you crazy. It's controlled, it's content, but it's restless. So that's the comfortable life. So you may know a lot of people that live in the comfortable life. And that is as deadly as the cage life. It may not be as dramatic, because the cage life is fear, resignation, and then bitterness. But the comfortable life is, it's fine, everything's fine, it's all great. But internally, because we have a soul that wants to grow and expand and make an impact, it's really not fine. It's really not fine. We want something more. We're really not feeling free. Why? Because we're not fully engaged in our life. And that's where the third life that Brendan Burchard talks about is the charged life. The charged life. And this is where real life is. That word life is a powerful, powerful word. I always feel like Nikken's technologies give us life. They give us the life force. And Brendan spoke so much about energy is everything. And we have technologies that give us back that life force, energy. That is the most precious thing we could bring another human being. So get about it. Who are you going to call today? Get about it, because it's important. Very crucial to our world. So the charged life is highly engaged. The higher self-awareness, the fullness in the moment, a full sense of, I'm bringing it. I'm bringing all of me to this moment. Just like Jim Rohn said, learn to put everything you've got into everything you do. That is a fantastic statement. So Brendan says the charged life is energized life. It's the vitality of spirit, the full of energy, full of enthusiasm, enthusiastic. The world belongs to the energetic. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that. Optimism, a future leaning into the future like it's gonna be good. I know when I first found Nikken, I was like, this is going to be so good for me and everybody else. This is good. This is goodness personified. So enthusiasm, as you know, that's enthos. Enthos, the origination of the word enthusiasm, means to be filled with theo, to be filled with God, or to be filled with the life force, to be filled with love, to be filled with the light. So that's why we have this symbol of the light bulb being filled with that enthusiasm, that joy, that love, and boom, taking it out into the world and helping wake up the world, or really even more pertinent, find the ones that are already stirring to wake up. Now, if you're constantly taking Nikken to people that are constantly in the bitterness stage of the caged life, you're probably not going to get very far. If they're in the resignation stage of the caged life, you are not going to make much of a dent, because they're resigned already. They don't want to think of a new science. They don't want to think of a new way of taking care of their health. They don't want to think of a new way of creating money and wealth in their life because they're stuck and they're resigned. And resignation means no energy is moving forward to that leaning forward position. So you're probably not going to make much of a dent there. But the people in the comfortable life, you could really make a dent there. You could sort of, because they know something's missing. They're restless. Maybe they make enough money to get by. That's fine, but they're restless. They don't feel like they're not really living their mission yet. They're people that you could really help to stir them, to move them forward, to really take a look here at what Nikken offers us, this personal freedom that we can have. And then, of course, the charged life. If you go find people that are living the charged life, they are the best people for you to sponsor, for you to recruit. And like I said, Eric Worre said yesterday, the number one skill you have to learn in network marketing in order to lead people is how to recruit, how to sponsor people. And really, I look for the people that are already living the charged life because they are the most fun to work with. They are fully engaged. They make things happen and they allow me to help them. And that's really super cool. They're not so stuck in their own little world that they can't allow others in to support and not do it for them, but to do it with them. That's why three-way calls in our business are so crucial, because that's when your prospects see that you're not alone. You have a whole team of people that want to help that new person succeed. That is a major part of our business and a part people seem to struggle on, as to getting people on three-way calls, but it's just not that hard, guys. It's just, let me introduce you to a friend of mine who's been doing this longer than I and who's created great success with this. And I'm sure that, she could help you more fully with understanding what this is really about and seeing if it's a fit for you or not. Right? That's pretty easy to do. So anyway, going back to this, the pillars of high performance, holistic alignment is key with the high performance habits. And you've got to master these fundamentals. And the most important is purpose. Your purpose in life. Why are you here? What are you here to do? Are you on your assignment or are you refusing your assignment? We think we move through those teen years and then we stop the teen years. All that rebelliousness. Oh no. One of our biggest problems in life is that we are rebellious. We refuse to be obedient to the callings of the Spirit. And when we refuse to be obedient to that, that harms not only ourselves greatly, because we get sad and depressed and unfulfilled, but it harms the world because we're not bringing our beautiful gifts to the world so that we can lift the world together. So don't think that you may have gone past all those teen years. I know I certainly can be as rebellious as anybody else. I can be very rebellious and no, I don't want to listen. No, I don't want to do that, But you got to really listen to the calling of your spirit and move forward with your spirit. Because those dreams, those callings, they want you because they're for you, and you will not fail if you give them everything you've got. If you are called to Nikken and you give it everything you've got, you will be highly rewarded. And I'm not just saying financially, although that's fabulous. I'm saying in so many other ways, by helping so many thousands and thousands of people. Anyone who goes to the level of diamond or royal diamond in Nikken has helped thousands and thousands of people, sometimes millions. So, it's like surrender to it. People have often said to me, why do you create this success? I'm like, because I surrender to it. I surrender to the call. And I know that if I surrender fully, I cannot fail because I have the universe on my side. I've got God on my side working with me to make this happen, to find the right people to take it to. So Brendan talked about purpose a lot. And then he talked about psychology and getting our psychology right, which is critical. Getting our physiology right, our healthy body is critical. Of course, in Nikken, we talk a lot about that with active wellness. We talk a lot about both of them, really. And then productivity is absolutely critical. And people, and understanding people. And I think that's the hardest part. I think we are challenging to understand. I don't understand myself half the time, let alone all of you. So it's a challenge to learn to understand people, understand ourselves and understand others. But that's the key, because to build a big network, we have to learn to understand people better and to help inspire them to get about it in their own life and be productive. And he said, if you're not being productive enough, then the first thing he would look at is, what is your expectation? What are you expecting? If you're expecting not much, you're not going to be very productive, because you're not going to put in a lot of effort. Because why? Why bother? Why bother? I say, well, what else is there to do? Why not bother? Let's go for it. But it's not just being mediocre with it. It's really giving it your all. Who can you help today to change their lives or life, right? So he talked a lot about emotional connection and confidence, effective habits. He's writing a new book on habits, so let's get that when it comes out. And social influence. Who inspires you the most? Surround yourself with purposeful people. That is a very, very important piece. And he says, about confidence, he says, I'm confident I will achieve my goals despite challenges or resistance. And that also confidence is about, I trust that I can work things out. I can figure things out. He talks a lot about that's confidence, is not knowing how to do everything, but knowing that you can figure it out. And with others' help, and we have so many people in Nikken who've been so successful, we can ask for their help. So be humble in that way. Let people help you. Ask them. Call them. I call Dave Johnson. I say, hey, Dave, can you help me with this? Because I'm just not getting this. I'm not getting whatever it is. So never limit your future vision for yourself based on current reality. Never limit your future vision of yourself for yourself based on current reality. Ambition, he talked about ambition is not negative. He said that, in the last years, we've had a sort of negative thing about ambition, like it's selfish and it's just all about you and this and that. He said, absolutely not. Ambition is not negative. You've got to unleash your soul. You have dreams. You have drive. Or do you have dreams? Do you have drive? Do you have aspirations? Do you have intention? Do you have desire? Don't apologize for your ambitions. I want you to hear that, especially every woman on this call too, because men are more used to that. But for women, don't apologize for your ambitions. Don't cheat yourself out of your ambitions, and do not plateau. Do not plateau. And that's, that destination disease, that's plateauing. That's going silver and then, whoa, I did it. And then plateauing. Deadly mistake. Deadly mistake. You've got to go silver again and again and again and again until you find the people that will go silver in your team. And until that point, somebody asked me once, well, how often do I have to do it? Until you find the right team players who will do what you are doing. And until you find those people, you do not stop. And even when you find those people, you do not stop. You go silver again and again and again. And I heard some great statistics yesterday from Kurt Foley about the growth of our business. Oh, I can't find it in this moment, but seniors are making so much more percentage-wise, and silvers are making so much more than they ever used to, and golds as well. So it's like, now we can all be a new senior. In fact, I kind of pretend to be a new senior every single month, and like, oh, what do I need to do? Oh, I need to go silver. So I need to find 3 new seniors and do the 12,000 and go silver. I play that game. It's called beginner's mind. I play it all the time with myself, because then I know I won't suffer from destination disease. Oh, I'm a royal diamond. I don't have to do anything anymore. That would be slipping into the comfortable life, which is very dangerous, very not good. You want to be living in the charged life. So what motivates us? And revisit this weekly, the spark, your ambition and your expectancy. The flame is the attention and effort that you bring to things, the flame of your life, this light, so beautifully example of that. And the bonfire is your attitude and the environment around you. You're building your power, your personal power, to no longer apologize for your life, but get big. I want to encourage you to get big, to speak your truth, not be afraid to speak your truth, no matter what the outcome. Now, I'm saying loving truth. I'm not saying I'm going to be truthful, I'm going to be mean now. No, I mean, speak your truth as in your highest self truth. What do you know that you know that you know? You know Nikken is a massive, massive vehicle for our world. You know it's a privilege that you found it, that somebody cared enough about you to share Nikken with you. Now, if you are keeping it to yourself, that is an absolute travesty. We must find the courage to take ourselves out there and help others, because they deserve this possibility just as much as you do. And I don't want you apologizing for your ambition. You should have a high ambition for your life. You were not put on this planet to live a mediocre, small life. You were put here to grow and to serve. And it's such an honor to serve. It's such an honor to serve others, isn't it? I feel that all the time. When I get to do something like this with you and you're here with me, it's an honor to serve you and bring my best to the game. Could I be better tomorrow? Absolutely. But I can only do the best right here, right now. And same for you. So let's today really go out and help some people. Let's go serve. The more we serve, the more everything will happen with your business. You will go silver. You will go gold. You will go royal diamond, because you're in service to the world. You're in outflow. You are loving others. You're bringing your full self. You're not apologizing for who you are. You are saying, this is who I am, like it or lump it. This is who I am, and I am passionate about helping people have personal freedom in their lives. And this is the vehicle I have found to bring it. That's what I'm going to encourage all of you to do. So with that, I'm going to say thank you so much for being with me today. I love you all. I know that soon we're going to see each other in San Antonio, but until then, I'll see you next Tuesday. And have a wonderful day, everybody, and many, many blessings on this day. Go bring it all. Remember what Jim said? Jim Rohn, learn to put everything you've got into everything you do. Let's do that. Okay? All right. Many blessings. Bye, everyone.